Since Japanese airplanes are inferior to our own, a good U.S. fighting pilot should be able to bag his quota of Japs every time he goes after them.
Heyo, Hudson here with Planet 4 Gaming. As promised, I'm flying a new plane to 1.43, the J7W. So, this is a plane I was very excited for once I figured out it was going to be released, who knows how long ago when I saw it in the release tree. Because, I mean, look at it, it's fucking cool looking, and it's got 4 30mm cannons, what's not to like? Well, it turns out there are a few things not to like. I'll go into more detail over the course of this video. So, what's good about this plane? We'll start off on a somewhat high note. Well, not really. It's reasonably fast in a straight line. You can find yourself outrunning most of the prop planes you'll go up against if you hold on to the WEP. So that's great. Its dive speed is fantastic, and its ability to take high G-forces is even better. So if you're going into a dive trying to chase after a Canberra, let's say you might be going up against a Canberra for some strange reason, this is probably the best Japanese plane in the game to do that. It can reach over 800 kilometers per hour and pull out of that dive, no problem. And its guns will probably be able to do some significant damage to that bomber, that it will go down. So that's nice. What do I not like about it? Well, its turn time is absolute shit, possibly the worst in the game. Worse even than the early Focke-Wulfs, I think. I've never pitted them against each other, but just from flying them, it seems like the worst turn time in the game. And its guns are kind of hit or miss, you know. Obviously they have a low muzzle velocity. That's something you should know going into it, though. And they do have a fairly low rate of fire, so it's sometimes hard to do deflection shooting. But the worst thing about them is sometimes you'll line up a perfect burst, get a few rounds into a target, and nothing happens. I don't know why this is. It seems like with high caliber weapons it's an issue. I've been going back to the Yak 9K, and it's awful. Oh my gosh, what did they do to that plane? So yeah, that's possibly the biggest issue. And finally, its energy retention is not particularly great, which is pretty key for having a good boom and zoomer, which is how this plane should be flown since it has a terrible turn time. Unfortunately, its energy retention is not good. So, yeah. Also, climb rate is inferior to the other Tier 4 Japanese planes by a noticeable margin. So, in this full game, I have dove on... I dove on Tetsuo thinking he was a B-17G. From long range, all I saw was a large silver object. By the time I noticed it was Tetsuo, I was already well within my attack pattern, so I just gave him a burst and got rid of him. So there goes Tetsuo. I don't like to start off a game going after bots, but happens sometimes. So after that, I've just started climbing back up. I'm around 2,500 meters. I'm going to get to around 3,000. And I'm shadowing this B-17, just looking after him, kind of. Not because I really am totally adamant on escorting bombers, but because I'm fairly confident that a couple noobish American pilots will try to go for the easy kill and go after him, which will in turn make them easy kills for me. If I lose a B-17 in the process, don't really care. And as I have predicted, 2 F-8Fs are going straight after him. Fucking retards. Always leave the bombers towards the end unless they're Canberras bombing your carriers, because all it's going to do is give you the loss. And you can see I'm diving in, my plane's violently shaking around. But no problem, I got it under control. Line up on this Bearcat, give him a burst. He goes into the ocean, and I get the assist. Even though I got the last shots on him, I can believe that the guy before me did the critical damage. It looked like the Bearcat may have been losing control, but I gave him a burst just to be sure, not trying to steal a kill. And I saw this B-17 was heading over for the carriers, so I'm going to head over and take care of him. One of the J7W's few strengths is it's very good at taking out bombers. Obviously 4 30mm cannons, if you get a few hits, it's going to do something. But that's not really all that great of a accomplishment, because first of all, intercepting bombers is not really the thing that wins games, and more importantly, bombers are super easy to take out in 1.43. Just about anything can do it, so it just makes the J7W even more irrelevant. I get the assist on that for some dumbass reason. I have no fucking idea. It looks like he had a few leaks, but he didn't seem to be going down. So I have a feeling I did all of the work on that kill and was not compensated. So that kind of peeves me off, but not too big of a deal. I'll take the win over a lot of kills any day. And this Bearcat's up above me, which is not good for me. The Bearcat can easily outturn this thing, and it can keep up with it in a dive fairly well. But he's a complete moron. It looks like he's going for our guys on the runway. And when he saw me forming up over him, he decided, oh hey, maybe that's a terrible idea. So I'm lining up, take a few wild shots there, do no damage. It's hard to aim with this thing in a dogfight. The combination of the low fire rate and terrible turn time make this thing pretty shitty for deflection shooting on fighters. So the Bearcat gets a few shots in me, and like I said, energy retention, absolute shit. So he catches up right away. I'm not able to get away, so I dive out. My teammates come to my aid, and I turn around, looking to line up a shot on that Bearcat. And clearly this chump had no idea what he was doing from the start. He made a lot of bad decisions, just not making up his mind, not sticking to the target at the highest altitude, and that was pretty much his undoing. So I line up on his tail, finish him off. And that'll be my only real kill of the game. Obviously Tetsuo technically counts, but I don't count bot kills as actual kills. and the B-17 that should have been a kill was not a kill. So, 1 for me. I have gotten 2 kill games in this plane, but that is the most I've ever gotten, which is not bad. I mean, I'll take 2 kill games any day, but it's not great either, seeing how I've gotten up to 6 in several planes. So, 1 Bearcat left. He's way up there in space, but we know he'll fuck it up. He's an American player. Let's be honest with ourselves. 90% of American players are complete idiots, so he dives in on my guy, gets damaged in the head-to-head, and I'm kind of staying out of it, but climbing, and if everything goes to shit, I can come in and help my comrades with that Bearcat. No problem. And that's really the only way you're gonna reliably get fighter kills in this plane, is when there's a furball going, a lot of confusion, no one sees you coming in, and you just like barrel in there like, hey guys, let me help, and then you can come in and snag a kill. The Shinden is basically the KI-84 and N1K's retarded brother, that they let him come along, but he doesn't really do most of the work. And I can't really advise you not to research this plane, because even though I think it's inferior to those two, you have to go through this plane on the research tree to get to the Sabre, which is, I assume, every Japanese player's ultimate goal. And you have to go through the N1K to get to this plane anyway, so even if you decide, hey, this plane fucking sucks, no biggie, you got the N1K to go back on, and you can use that to do the brunt of your research. And I like the KI-84 better than both, but if that's not your thing, no big deal. Just decide what you like the best. So, overall, what are my thoughts on this plane? I think it either needs a new flight model. I'm pretty sure this one's a placeholder flight model. According to Wikipedia, the J7W was highly maneuverable in real life, whatever that means. And the Japanese set a pretty high standard for that sort of thing, so it's got to be decent. at most, at least. I don't know. Other than that, if there's no new flight model coming along soon, I think it maybe should have a lower BR. But on the other hand, this thing is the best Japanese plane for shooting down Canberras, so it's kind of in the right spot. I don't know. It's hard to figure out where this plane belongs. So those are my overall thoughts. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section below. Oh, by the way, I've only researched fuselage repair on this thing, so I only have one of the upgrades out of the way. It's very slow going, getting upgrades for this thing. I've gotten like 30 kills in it at least, and like only one upgrade. I mean, I don't use premium, but still. The grind is a pain in the ass. Somewhat what I would somewhat similar to what I would consider the TA-152 for the German guys. They complain about that a lot, even though I don't have the TA-152. I would say this thing has to be somewhat similar to that. So yeah, this has been Hudson with Planet 4 Gaming. Thanks for watching, and get the fuck out of here.